in and out. I'll
Yeah.
try not to disturb. So,
Okay, right here. So I pressed record. Yes, it's working. And I hope also the internet here will function correctly because I'm at the far, far west of France. You know, France has like a nose popping out in the Atlantic Ocean, and I am almost at the end. And so, but because this is school break, so I'm still working, but hello, Victoria.
Hello.
Welcome, welcome. So we have Grace from Louisiana who's driving to go see her grandchildren, her grandbaby. And we have Karen from California. And Victoria, you are from
Pennsylvania.
Pennsylvania. Fantastic.
But I did spend a lot of time in Louisiana.
You did.
Hmm.
Great. I visited New Orleans when I was a child. I think I was 6 years old. And I have just this memory of watching jazz bands in the streets, and my parents took us, my brother and I, to probably a cafe or something, and we ate beignet. That
Cafe
was
du Monde.
a
sort of
beignet.
beignet, yes.
Yes.
So that's my memory. So, so I'm here for you. And so what I did today is that I popped a PDF in the WhatsApp group. I don't know if you have seen it. Um, so I don't want you to think it's like homework, like, oh my gosh, I have to do this for the next time. But of course, there's no obligation. But it's still, if you're here, it's also because probably you want to, move forward in your life. And so there's a series of questions. The PDF is quite consequent. It's quite long. And some questions probably seem, very dull or boring, but in fact, if you really pay attention and if you really ask yourself those questions, it will lead you forward. In personal development, most of the work is about common sense. And sometimes we get trapped into our ego that says, "Oh yeah, okay, but is this all there is?" I mean, but in fact, the simplest questions um, very often lead us to the foundational answers. So do not diminish the fact that the PDF questions maybe seem really like common sense and very simple, because then it is your job to orient it and then to dive deep and put specific topics on the table, and then regarding looking at the specific topic you deal with and asking the questions that will help you guide you on the PDF will give you angles and clarity to really dive deep. So, this being said, um, so what we can do is, so we sort of, I sort of introduced you super quick, and we have Terry popping on here, and Terry is, we've been working together for quite a while too. So Karen and Terry, I know, and so I suggest, if you wish, Victoria, for example, because Grace is more driving, so I don't want to to bother her too much. But Victoria, do you want to pop in and do you have any questions? Do you have any concerns about whatever is on your plate today? I mean, this is your moment. I'll do my best. Hello, Ania. I'll do my best to help you, to answer you. Or maybe if you prefer Karen or Terry or Ania to start, as you wish.
So this is like a whole new adventure for me. I grew up in a house of 7 kids and I was the only girl. And I wasn't really taught to be or shown to be feminine. I was the tomboy growing up and always like suck it up and deal with it. And then I served in the military, which was predominantly all male, and had a very toxic first marriage when I was young. So like now that I feel like I'm in my safe space with my husband that I'm in now and stuff, I'm like, and he's allowing for me to just be me, and I feel like I can authentically finally be myself. So like this is all new territory for me, and so I'm just here to like soak in everything I can and kind of hear what everybody else has to say and just continue this journey.
Okay, fantastic. So while you're talking, what pops into my mind so I can give you some things to chew on right away. It's a good thing, and Karen and Terry have already heard me talk about the feminine and the masculine energy, but it's a good thing to be aware about this, and it's good for everyone here because, and I understand, well, I have 3 brothers. I don't have 6 brothers, but I know, and I have quite some military guys in my family, so I see what you mean too. And anyways, so let's consider this. Whether we are a man or a woman, we have masculine principles and feminine principles inside of us.
Mhm.
Principles or archetypes. I mean, sometimes I, mismatch a vocabulary, but you get the point.
Yes.
And so the the masculine energy, think about it as structure, security, protection, getting organized. The masculine energy would be like, I don't know if you have um, any knowledge about right brain and left brain,
Mhm.
but the left brain is like the computer, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. It's detail, it's sort of, okay, procedure, step 1, step 2, step 3. This is the masculine. The masculine is in the concrete. How do I do this? And I'm going to do it, and I'm going to move forward, and I'm going to push forward, and I have the muscles to. Oops, you lost me 1 second, but I'm back, I think. Yeah. And so this is the masculine. And whether we are a man or a woman, we have this inside of us, except that we here are women. So our core principle is going to be the feminine principle, right? And the feminine flows. The feminine is flow. The feminine is inspiration. The feminine is emotion, is play, is softness, is love, is spirituality and creativity. And it's also turning inwards. How do I feel? This is feminine, because we nurture, we 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 cuddle, we're soft, oh, how are you? We have these little babies, or we take care. This is the feminine. And I remember when we did coaching in the last group in October, um, I've had one of our clients, a woman who she had trouble in her day. She actually said to me, "Well, it looks like I'm floating on a cloud all day." I mean, she couldn't, there was no structure in her day. And so she had trouble making meals. She had trouble getting dressed. I mean, it wasn't very clear. I don't know who has her mic on. I think, Grace, do you have your mic on?
Let me look. I'll turn it off. I'm so
Yeah.
sorry.
No problem. So that thank you so much. And so what we did is, for her to be able to flow her femininity, we need structure. So the masculine is the bed of the river, and the feminine is the river. The feminine is emotions. That's the right brain. The feminine feels. The feminine is soft. The feminine is all intuitive. Okay, that's the feminine. But if we want our feminine to glow, we need structure, or else we don't feel safe to get our feminine to glow, to flow, right? And so it's not one against the other. It's not one better or the other. It's both playing ping pong. This is my together all the time, which means that, for example, concretely, how does this look like? You're going to say to yourself, oh, I think I need some body movement. Just I'm inventing, okay? Oh, maybe I could do some Pilates or yoga or go for a run. I just feel that my body needs this. This is your feminine, right? And then when you take your phone or you go out the door, you actually go there. That's your masculine. And then when you're running, so you have the masculine going on, doing the thing, and then you're checking in, you're going, oh, this feels so great. That's the feminine. And so you see, and then when you think that, oh, this is enough, that's the feminine saying, I think it's better to stop right now, and then the masculine will stop. So the masculine is the concrete, you see, and the feminine is the one who goes inside and and sort of feels how things are going. And last example I want to give you, so it gives you some kind of structure for you to think about, all of you for this week, is that I had another client which was really interesting, and she was a yoga teacher. And she said, oh, my yoga classes are just fantastic. I'm inspired. I'm in the feminine flow. It's fantastic. And then um, the other part of the day, so she gave a couple of hours of yoga classes, but the other part of the day, she was just like, I don't know how to get dressed. I don't know. I just can't take care of me. Um, it was just like a little bit of floating. And so
Mm-hmm.
what we did is that we created structure. Why did it function well during her classes? Because her yoga classes were from this time to this time. And there was, the welcoming period, and then the warming up period, and then the whatever period, and then the stretching, and then the standing up, and then, lying down. So
Mm-hmm.
well, and in that structure, she could allow herself to be the best version of herself, right? But she was unable to see that was missing in her life. So then we said, well, do you have a moment where you decide where you dress? Because you're not just a yoga teacher, you are the woman who you are. And so when you wake up in the morning in whatever order, breakfast or dress up, but when it's time to dress up, this is the structure. This is it. I'm dressing up. In that structure, free flow. Oh, could I put this? How can I have these colors? How do I want to show up today? You see? And then after that, breakfast. Okay, this is the structure of breakfast. Oh, what would feel good? As usual, my morning tea. Fine. But in which cup? I could use it in this cup. I could go out in the sun instead of having it watching TV. So in that structure, how do I let my feminine flow? You get the idea? So this is
Yes.
the basis, and I'm sure this is going to help to realign things and get the idea of masculine and feminine working together. But know that the feminine, for her to flow, she needs security. This is the basis of every single woman. And security, it doesn't mean only financial and a roof. It means emotional security. So if the people around you are safe and willing to have a safe space emotionally for you, and if you yourself are secure enough with yourself, that counts too. And with that security, you're good. Security, heart connection. we women, we need security, heart connection, and we need leadership. So either we're single, and anyways, we still have our own specific life, even if we have like a partner or a spouse. But we need leadership, which means the structure in the day, because then inside of the structures we can have a lot of fun. What am I going to cook today? Or how am I have this work to do. In what order would it be fun for me to do? Instead of going bulldozer like a man. You see? So, and we need leadership. So we've got to have our masculine set some kind of structure in our day. But if we also have a spouse, then we need leadership from them too. You see? So we need, as women, we need heart connection, safety, and leadership so that the feminine can flow. Right. Okay, thank you. Does this help, Victoria?
It does, yes, because for a long, long time, my like masculine energy was like way, way, way high, and I've just recently have been able to start to level it out. And I know that's why it's one of the reasons why I signed up for the immersion course, because I talked to my husband and he's like, if you want to do it, go all in, and I fully support you.
Great. Security, you see?
Mhm.
And there's this leadership of go, the safe space for you. You see, so this is a good example of masculine, of healthy masculine, um, really, guiding you and protecting you along with the way so that you can have fun, um, and really develop. So, okay, great. So if you have any questions, the WhatsApp group is
Mhm.
there to support. And if you have ideas popping in your head or that you want to share to the others or questions, then I will be there to support. Probably not 24 hours, 24 hours, but I go in there at least once a day and not on weekends. But so there. So, does somebody else have a question or something to share and some clarity or whatever? Karen or Ania or Terry or otherwise I can go on masculine and feminine energy if you like, or we can go on the topic of Karen, do you have any things?
Um, I just wanted to support Victoria because that was me 2 years ago. I have three sons and a husband, and my focus was on my family, and I was last. And I found Ode on Instagram, and I've started her programs about 2 years ago. And I didn't even know, I knew I needed help, but I had no idea which way to go. And so I used to look in the mirror and not like what I saw and then kind of give up. And now I look in the mirror and I have positive self-talk. And I've also expanded my brain. I'm taking watercolor class. I'm learning about color, and I had no idea. I've been a left brain person. I was in the insurance industry for my career. So now I'm exercising the right side. So I'm a work in progress, and I'm enjoying um, going through the program again, and that's where I'm at. So I actually don't have any questions today. I'm just really happy to be here and to have all the validation that Ode provides. So thank you.
You're welcome. Oh, thank you, Karen. Ania, do you want to share something, or do you have any questions or desires or want clarity on something?
I'm Anya.
Anya,
And
I'm sorry,
yes,
Anya.
yes. Um, I I have known about masculine and feminine for the past few years now, and I started as a neuroscience and computer science background, so very much on focusing on technical stuff and working with a lot of corporate people. And 3 years now, 3 years ago, I completely closed my agency that I had that I used to work for. Um, and I started painting and I started finding the artistic self again. Like when I was growing up, my mom would put me in, you know, singing class, dance class, art class, and all of this. And before it felt like almost, sorry, I have some background noise, almost felt like it was kind of forced on me. But then I realized I actually always identified more artistic than technical. So coming back to that made me feel more like myself again. Like I actually love getting ready every day. And I actually love painting and reading and doing more creative work. So now I on the journey again, truly finding myself. I've turned 25. I'm gonna be 26 this year. So I don't know. Sometimes I feel like maybe I'm too young for this. Sometimes I feel maybe I am too old for this, but I'm just saying age does not matter. Um, and now I am starting to learn more art, fine art, and also work with artists to help them with branding and websites. So mixing my technical and my artistic side together. And I felt that for me to be fully myself and for me to also do work in a way that I absolutely love, I also have to learn about the feminine and masculine because to me, I feel like I am more feminine, but sometimes because I'm running my own studio, working kind of puts me in a more masculine energetics because I'm conversing with people, managing projects and all of that. So for me, I'm just looking forward to learning elegance in a way that I can merge the two and still feel like myself. So I'm
Oh,
very happy to be here because learning from different perspective always just enriches everything for me.
oh, thank you. And where are you from? I think you're in the United States, but where?
Yes, I'm from New York,
Okay.
but I'm also originally from Bangladesh. So I've been in New York for 10 years now, 12 years.
Oh, great. Fantastic. So we're just on point with the masculine and
Yes.
feminine. Now, this is um, because in our workspace generally, well, today in the Western, countries, um, it's very masculine oriented in the energy, which means that we have to do, go, to-do lists, up, and there's this, you see what I mean? There's this masculine way of doing, um, and what I also see, because on the side, I also coach a lot of top senior executives near Paris, and I see a lot of men. I coach a lot of men and also women, but what I see from the women who work, and I'm sure it's also probably your experience, is that since we are women and we're facing men, we unconsciously or half consciously we think, well, we've got to show ourselves strong enough, and instead of being in the strength of the feminine, of our core feminine, which is stronger for us because we're women, then it's stronger than our masculine energy because we are women, right? Then we think that if we take on the suit, the jacket of a man, the energy of a man, then we will be capable to confront, to deal with whatever we have to deal in the workspace. And that this was interesting because again, in November, I had one of my clients, and she was a farmer, and she also had, so she was in the field dealing with cows and dealing with whatever farm stuff. And she also was dealing with she had this, if I understood correctly, a company dealing with 30 men that were, she directed those 30 men that were on the ground on railroads or whatever. And she realized that I made her realize that when she came upon to really give instructions, be the CEO of all these men, then she would like put on her shields, put on her masculine jacket to be like, okay, now you've got to listen to me, even if I'm the only woman. So she would like, make herself bigger than what she actually was because of the difference of the masculine and the feminine. And so I invited her to drop rather in her full feminine inside of her to gain more strength. Because if we try to play a role that we are not, I mean, if we try to play a man but we're not, then it's draining and it sounds off. And we don't, and the result is that we don't have that much authority. Or we can, but it's just very energy demanding. And so when we lead from our feminine side, but it doesn't mean letting go of all structures, but I'll show you how. Then we feel better because that's our strength. I mean, we are naturally women. This is the best thing that we can do, be a woman. So when we do that more consciously, then we get to be even more impactful. And I think it was this week with one of my clients, don't remember, but it was like these last days. And I recalled that I had one of my colleagues who was working specifically on color, not color analysis, but a little bit, and outfits and all of that. And she would have testimonials of her clients say that when they put black on, oh yeah, that I think I was talking about that in the Q&A, right? Yes. When they put black on, it was to impress and put some sort of authority. And when they switched to their colors in sync with their personality, their mood, their energy, their femininity, etc., oh my goodness, the confidence would flow better. To affirm ourselves would be much easier and better and more natural and not so much draining. Because we're not like, okay, putting your getting ready to go and fight. No, we're not there to fight. This is the masculine. Yes, they like to figure things out and to strangle, put things up to the floor and get that figured out, etc. But we women, we naturally are more creative, inspired, in flow, and we feel things. And so we have to lead with this. And so how does this concretely look like? Because let's say, because this doesn't mean, I mean, leading with your feminine doesn't mean that you're not doing anything, you're not in the concrete anymore. No, we have to have this balance. But it means that whatever is on your plate today, maybe you have a couple things on your to-do list, right? Then the masculine, what does he do? I can see my husband, he goes like this. Okay, first, second, third. He doesn't even look at the bottom of the list. He's just like, but, and so, well, that's a good way. I mean, it'll be done at the end of the day if we have this this way of doing. But if we don't want to get too much drain, then with the same list, we're going to look at it far away, because the feminine is more linked to the right brain, and the right brain is less into the details. The right brain is the big picture. The left brain is it's so close to what needs to be done that you don't even see the 3 or 4 steps after, right? So we're going to look at the list, the to-do list, and we're going to play around with it. And we're going to ask this question that seems so light and a little bit fluffy, but how fun could it be? But it's a life change. It's a life changer. How fun could it be for me to do this to-do list? And then you're going to go and see, I want to start with this. And in fact, if I do this right after, I'm going to gain some time here. And if I go to the post office, well, I'm driving down there. Well, good, because then I won't have to go back there. But I see my husband, he's ready to take his car and then come back and then do another thing. And then we don't have the same way of doing things, right? So how fun could it be to get this list done? And with your creativity, with your inspiration, and with the fun, you get to decide in which order. So by the end of the day, you've got your list done, and you probably have more spare time, in fact. But the trick here is when you ask the question, how fun could it be? If you know about energy work, fun is high energy. It's so by when you're in high energy, you're more in sync with your inspiration, with your higher self, or call it your divine self or your soul, because you are a higher energy. But if you look at your to-do list and go, you scratch your head and you're, that is not high energy, right? It's low energy. And when you're in the 3D low energy, you can't see beyond. You can't see further. You're just stuck in, well, I'm here. The end of the day is over there. And my goodness, how am I going to get across my day? Right? So the energy part is crucial. And a way to increase your energy is to get into your feminine flow and say, so you have the structure of your to-do list, so it's clear what you have to do. So you still have some structure, but with that structure, you get to play around with it and express and get inspired. So then you take a little bit further view and say, okay, how fun could it be to do this? Now you can do that for your day list, for your week list, for your month list, for your year list. I mean, it works all the time. But you see that when you increase your energy, increase your levels of fun, just like Anya, you said when you get dressed in the morning, you're just happy to do it. I mean, it feels fun, and that's a treat for yourself. So now that you have this is a good experience, good idea. There are certainly things that you do with fun, whatever they are. It could be cooking, it can be dressing up, it can be whatever. And there are also things like your to-do list or specific items on your list that you do not like to do, right? Now, take the fun and flow that you have in your experience, and you're going to bring that fun and flow and put it in the experiences that don't feel so fun and so good. This is really life-changing. Let me give you an example. You see, and I think this, so in the example, you will see there's the structure, and I will put in the feminine in there. You'll see it's really interesting. So a couple of years ago, I wrote a book, and I was super inspired, and I loved writing that book. It's in French. It's called The Power of Emotions, but it's in French. It's on Amazon, but and And now I'm writing my book on French elegance. I mean, the elegance. And the thing is, I have a lot of blocks. I don't know. I had trouble to get there. I know, but I feel inspired, but then it cuts off easily, etc. And so what I did is that I remembered, I really got deep into the memory of, okay, what was going on while I was doing this thing that was really inspiring and I had a lot of fun doing it. And I tried to notice what in the picture, in my feelings, what did I see? What did I hear? What did I feel? What were the conditions of the memory that I have? And I noted them down. I just closed my eyes and I concentrated. I focused and I tried to see all of the little tiny details. Even when I closed my eyes and remembered when I did my first book, I could see there was this light. There was this fun, there was this open heart to serve my future readers, etc. And then when I closed my eyes and I looked at myself writing my book today, the image was darker. There was fear, hesitation. It wasn't the same, right? And so what I did, and my goodness, this works. This is life-changing. So what I'm talking about right now, you will see that if you apply this to the letter, like I'm telling you right now, it will be very, very helpful. So what I did is that I noted all the elements. I said, okay, the picture in my head was really bright. So here it's darker, it's grayer. I'm going to turn on the light in my head. And then I noticed the feelings, all the feelings. So I stood there, I concentrated, I focused, and I said, okay, I'm going to put this there. I'm going to put this there. I'm going to put this there. And then I saw that I could hear things. I could hear, I don't know, birds. And there in my image, in my memory, while I felt stuck, it was silence. So I put the birds there. You can see, I created a film in my head. I just took all those elements that seemed really supportive of my project, and I just infused them in my next book. And surprisingly, it worked because then I got to write my book. Well, I'm not done at all, but in the morning, I was eager. I was happy to get there. I wrote at least 30 pages for now, and it really got me going. So, as you can see, coming back to the masculine and the feminine, you see, I have a structure where something worked out great. So I invite you to think about, because I'm just taking the example of my book, but you can do this with anything, right? It's just to give you a concrete example. So you have a structure of a certain number of elements that create a working equation here. The light, the feeling, the emotion, what I touched. And I am trying to take all these things which are specific, which are structure oriented, and I take that structure and put it into the thing that I don't have so much inspiration and eagerness. So I take that structure and put it on the thing that blocks too much, right? And once I do that, then with that safe structure that I'm bringing to do that thing, I can now have the feminine flow, because in the structure, it flows now. It flows. And this is incredible. I mean, I didn't know it could be possible because in fact then I read I got this from Tony Robbins' book. I think it's Unlimited Power. Well, I'm reading it in French, but And it's quite interesting. And so for me, this is an interpretation of masculine and feminine, because it allows you to transform and have a nice moment in what you are doing. And and it allows you to have fun and flow and inspiration, which is the feminine. And when you make space for those elements to come in, then life feels funner. I mean, it feels much more fun, even while doing the admin thing or the things you don't like, or maybe you like to cook, but you don't like to clean up. But then, you know, you can get going, you can decide. So this, I don't know, I would be inspired to teach you this, but the more specific you are with the two memories, and the more you can translate and create the things that worked into the task that you don't like, then you will see that it will be very effective, extremely effective. But it's a muscle. So maybe the first time it'll be a little bit rusty, but then the next day and the next day, and it's just like anything else. It's something that it's a muscle. It's just like working out at first. It's hard, and then it gets, and then it's just a habit. So really, that's a good idea. Let me see what I see. There's a little message here. I agree with Karen. I was completely lost and confused with who I was, and Ode came at an opportune moment in my life. Oh, great. Thank you, Terry. She helped me regain strength, authenticity, and my voice. Great. Oh, so Victoria and everything and everyone, I think you will benefit. Oh, thank you so much, Terry. So what I've just described, if you do that for things that are tough, or you're not too sure of, or you're hesitant, or doesn't feel too comfortable or good, do that inner work, and you will see it will change a lot of things. So, does this help? Yes?
Yes, I absolutely loved it because I was trying to simplify it in my head. And I was thinking, even for the example that, yes, I love to get ready, like just choosing the outfit and styling my hair and choosing just like the hair clip just makes me happy. I was thinking, how can I apply that to tackling my emails? So many emails, and often I feel just clicking and responding to one takes a lot of my energy. Just how do I translate that to that feeling? Maybe I love one-on-one, like actually speaking to one person at a time. So maybe I can switch the feeling of talking to one person, like I'm getting ready to speak to the person or respond to the email that I'm going to respond to, instead of feeling like, oh, it's just like a bunch of messages and things that I have to do and just respond them in a bulk, which just drains my energy. Like something like make it more personal and relational and something that I look forward to and make it fun. Maybe I should start adding emojis to my email. just one because sometimes I just feel it's very strict or yeah, just I think yeah, I really love what you said about transferring the good feelings and the flow and the fun of it to something that is completely different, but just changing the image of it. Mentally, I can see that, and I was thinking I would love to find ways that I can also physically add to that. And another thing that your hearing you gave me idea is it's so true. Like today is very cloudy. I love sunny days when the sun is just shining on me from this window to work. On days like this, I don't know if I should be working on a project or if I should be painting or if I should be doing a course or a class. But I think I can choose, I can dedicate different things and not, I'm still thinking about it, but I love sunny days, but I cannot rely my whole mood and what I do on sunny days alone. So maybe I can create a more warm and sunny and bright environment in my space, in my room. And I can put that image of like birds singing. Like today, I just hear the owl. I don't hear the birds, but I can change the image in my mind that there's sun and there's birds singing right outside my window. And I can feel the breeze, light a candle, and do the project even though there's no sun shining right now, but bring that emotion to the project if it needs to be done today. If not, I can do something else. But yeah, I really love that. I have one question, which is something
Yes.
that I have been wondering a lot lately. Is there any way that you would suggest best to organize one's calendar, which is time management basically, but in a more feminine way, but also that it has the structure, the masculine structure for the feminine flow and the fun to thrive on. For example, I don't like filling my whole calendar with the calls and other things. I just like keeping one to do task and letting it flow. But sometimes I feel that's probably very unproductive. If I were to share it with someone, they would think, are you doing anything with your time? But I like letting it flow. But sometimes I also feel guilty that I'm probably not doing enough. But I think it's on the line. Like, is that a good thing or is that a bad thing? I don't really know how to feel about it. So I would love to know your approach on how you manage time and also feel good about it.
Mm. This is an excellent question because we women, um, we we may struggle a lot with this because uh, uh, either we go full, completely organized, and then we're suffocating, or then we're just like in the flow, and then when we go to bed, we feel regrets and we're a little bit guilty of not doing enough. So this is a big question, and I completely understand. And by the way, the responding to what I just said about your example of the emails, of trying to respond to a person and not just dealing with a bunch of emails, that's a great idea to say, well, I'm having a one-on-one, but it's just a message. That was great, absolutely great. And when on gray days, because I was a painter, I, I haven't painted for a long time, but gray days are better than sunny days to paint. So you can play around with that. Anyways, so getting organized. We have to know also that, in the masculine mode, they have 24-hour cycles, but we women, we have 30-day cycles, right? Which is like moon cycles. So we have moments in the month where we're more productive than not. And even if we don't have our cycles anymore, it's still built in us. So what I found out, but I'm not perfect, okay? I'm not perfect on that. I know I teach this to even top executives and all that, but sometimes I have periods like really organized and other periods where I'm less organized. And this is life. So this is the first thing that I want to say, that um, don't feel bad about yourself when you're in those periods where it looks like oops. I'm on the flow, because it's like a cycle. You have autumn, winter. Winter, you think nothing's going on, but in fact, it's preparing for spring and summer and for the harvest. So it's not because you're in these moments where you're not organized that nothing's happening. It's just preparing for the next round, because this is the flow of life. So we have to be at peace with this, that there are periods and moments, and it can be weeks or months or days, where we're just like, I try, but I can't do. So it's not a good thing to force, but it's not a good thing either just to let everything go. So we've got to find a good way. So my point here, sometimes let's take an example. Let's say that you want to work out and you decide that for a month, I don't know, either you go online or you have a Pilates class. Okay, let's say that. And it's or you go to the gym. Let's take that example. It's maybe easier. So instead of wanting to go to the gym every single day like a man, like boom, 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 um, this is the masculine who will say, okay, let's go, let's do it. And I'm not supposed to skip any day, etc. But we are women, and we have days where we just can't get up. We have days where we have headaches. We have days where we were preoccupied all night, and we didn't sleep well. We have days where we're preoccupied by other things. I mean, because remember I said the masculine is the bed of the river, and the feminine is the river, right? And the river is water, and water, the symbolic of water, is emotion. So we women, we are emotion, right? And sometimes when we get um and when we get overwhelmed by emotions, whether it's hormones or things we have to face, we're built up like this, right? So we can't be too hard on ourselves and demand that the next morning we're going to go to the gym anyways, because this is the way it is, and period, you see? So I like to see it like 30 days, so a month, and say that you decide to go to the gym because you want to, okay? But let's look at it like 20 days. And then you have the 10 extra days where that you will be able to place intuitively with what's going on in your life. So the day where you were supposed to go there, or maybe you have, um, maybe there's babies, or maybe you have, unexpected things that arrive, or headaches or whatever. Well, give yourself a day for that specific activity. But the goal is to not let go on the long run. You see? So you're still getting the structure. You have your 20 days in, but you're still having to navigate with your feminine, having those 10 buffer days that you can use. So this is just an idea, you see, a concept. Then you can use that concept in the way you get organized in your days. Now, for example, now it depends, okay? It depends on what you do and what's your work. It depends of so many things that I can't answer specifically. But you can also have, like, if you paint, if you have a business online, and then you have clients, let's say you have these three major things, then maybe you can have dedicated days to this, and say that Mondays are always your days where you paint, and Fridays always your client days, or you see, Or you can have what I did, especially a lot at the beginning of September until December. It worked pretty well for me because I create content. I create content for free content, and then I create content for inside my programs, and then I have the coaching, and then I have so many specific pillars that at the end of the summer, I said to my husband, "Okay, can you help me? Because I just how and so um and so we got to the idea that it was a good idea to have content week and then creation week and then filming week, you see? And it would, because as I am a lot about creating, writing my book, creating content, I create a lot. And to be able to create, so to be able to be a lot also in my feminine, I have to make a lot of head space, empty space. Otherwise, it's too filled up and then I'm not inspired anymore. So we women, we have to be very careful about this because we have the tendency to give, which is in fact a rather masculine energy because it goes out there. That's the masculine energy. And we forget to put ourselves in the receiving mode, receiving the inspiration, receiving the love, and receiving the care, and receiving the compliments. Whatever we're receiving the money. So it's a good thing to balance all of that and to be careful that in the day, there are moments where you you're in production, you create, you do, but then you need to have those moments where you're in the nothing, in the stillness, in the receiving, in the open my window and I just let the sun in. I just take my time for myself. I quiet my mind because this is the feminine energy. And our feminine energy, we really truly need to nourish it. So in getting organized, if you get organized from 7 to 8 to 8 to 9, 9 to 10 until the end of the day, of course you're going to have your shields, your masculine shields like this thick. And you're not going to be able to be in the feminine flow because there is no space for this. So it's good to have structure, but to be very aware that inside the time blocks, there is space for flow. So you have the structure, this is my week, or this is my 2 hours of emails, or this is you see, you have these structures, but inside, you get to decide the order, the way, if you put music or not, if you have your tea or not, or who you're going to call first. And so that you will be able to have the feminine flow. And somewhere in your day, you have to pause. You have to stop the monkey mind and be in the nothing. Come back to stillness inside of you, to meet your true self, your divine self inside, to meet your soul, meet your higher self inside of you, and just shh, shh. And you will see that when you're tired, when there's too much in your head, when you go and drop into your heart and go into stillness, you will feel replenished. I mean, just drop right now as you're listening to me in your heart and go into stillness. Doesn't need too much concentration because we're made for this. We're supposed to do that. It's us. So if you just go into your heart center, go into your body, just just sigh. There you are. And if you could just stay in there for 10, 15 minutes a day and fill your cup up, because you're making space for God. You're making space for for the universe here. You're making space for filling you up, for the feminine to be nourished. Because the masculine is your mind that says, you need to do that, you didn't do that well, you're going to feel this, you're supposed to, blah, 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 blah. That's the masculine. So leading from the feminine requires to shut up, to shut up our monkey mind and go into our heart, because we are loving ones. This is our core feminine. We are love. We nurture, but we have to nurture ourselves first. So in our days, this is like the absolute requirement. If you can have, then I take an hour, sometimes 2, even for myself, because this is my core nourishment. I could not take care of you, of my clients, and if I do not calm my system, I could not be available to inspiration and to just and do my inner work and my inner cleaning too. So it sounds like I've went far away from the question of how do I get organized, but in fact, you must stick that every single day. This is like the basis. And so does this help, or do you want a little bit more clarity on how to, or does this give you?
It gave me a lot of clarity.
Good.
And yeah, it gave me so much clarity, and I was already thinking about maybe literally blocking out, time blocking on my calendar of just do nothing, or you can guilt-free watch YouTube videos. So I have the container to literally do that. And I think this is for because I have been running my business and doing different things that I I honor other people's time more than mine. And I would show up best for someone else than if it was for me. So it's almost like when I create an invite, like a Zoom invite for someone else. So I know there's an invitation for someone else out there. So I'm going to show up at my best. So creating a blog, like a Zoom invite in that sense, or like a YouTube invite, or just do nothing, or just paint invite would be like an invitation for myself, or for that version of myself who just wants to relax, who just wants to paint, who just wants to do nothing but scroll and watch happy YouTube vlogs. So I think that was lovely. So that's the first insight that I received. And I really love that you spoke about the cycle, because recently I found someone who does cycle synced Pilates workout. So it is so when I'm like before, like I'm on the follicular cycle, then I do only that workout. That's what she suggests I do. But when I have more strength, like I'm in the summer of my season, then I actually do a more sorry, I mixed up. Follicular is when you have more energies, luteal that you don't have energy. So just cycle syncing that made me realize I can do that with my work. Cycle sync my work schedule, or so I can literally do my projects. I schedule them to start when it is after my period. So 2 weeks of like work that's like heavy on the projects, and the other 2 weeks that I'm like before my period starts and during my period, I can focus on creating my collection and just painting or just learning, just pouring more into myself. So that was also very good. I don't know, I haven't looked into the course yet, the curriculum, but I'm looking forward to it because I'm pretty sure you probably went into that, or we can cover it on our calls. So that was really nice. And trying to think, there's another question that popped up. I don't remember. Maybe I'll bring it up.
If it pops up again,
Yes.
thank you so much. I am sure that every woman here is really enjoying the questions you ask, because what you're saying, like I send invitations to others for a call or whatever, and now I am going to put an invitation, I mean, a time slot specific for myself. This is genius, because this is exactly what we all need to hear. So, so, so thank you so much for this question, because I am sure this is going to be great for everyone. Really, really great. And you're right that once you get the principle, you see, principles are just so much more powerful than rules, because then you are able to translate one principle, one concept, and say, oh, so actually there's Pilates for my cycle, but I can use that framework with my job, with my painting, with how I'm going to go about my life. So you got it. You see how this is a principle at work, you see, and then you adapt to whatever subject, whatever topic. So thank you so much for sharing.
Yeah, and I love that you are actually not giving like a strict rule. Like, no, you only work from sunset to sunrise to sunset, and after that, it's not feminine to work. Because I've heard that, and I just sometimes feel that doesn't work with me. I love the nighttime. Because recently in a YouTube video, I heard that because it said that, you know, previously humans would not work after sunset. So therefore, it is more feminine to not work or do anything after sunset because the artificial light made it so that you're more prone to working. And I was confused about that, and I felt felt, but a lot of my inspirations come at nighttime.
Yes.
And yes, it may not be related to like call. I would not do that, but I love the nighttime too. But is it harming me in the long run? You know, like there's this frames that we have in our head sometimes. Yes. Learning about the principle and the examples that you give helped me just reel back into okay, who I am and how do I need to adapt it to my energy level and what serves me best.
Yes,
We forget
yes.
that. Yeah.
Absolutely. And you see the feminine principle, so the masculine is the solar principle. So it's in the day. And the feminine principle is the moon principle. It's in the night. So it doesn't mean you have to stay up all night. But yes, what happens is that at night, I truly understand you, because I get a lot of inspiration rather late at night or very early in the morning. That's the moment where I'm the most inspired, personally. And I know that, I don't know if you know Wayne Dyer. He wrote like 40 books, and he would wake up at 3 or 4 in the morning and he would write them very, very early in the morning. And I recently known, it's just a French writer, but we were talking about her, and my daughter-in-law said, oh, you know, this writer, she wakes up she starts to write from 5 to 9 every single day, even if she's not inspired, but she's a writer. And then the rest of the day, she just rests. She does her life, but at least her 4 hours of writing are done. And I thought that was really helpful to know, because in fact that was something that I was sharing to my daughter-in-law when I had trouble writing my book, and she told me, well, you know, she's a professional, she's a writer, because I'm not a writer, I don't but and so she said, well, she just only writes 4 hours a day, because I could write 2 hours a day. And she told me, well, she's professional. She's been writing books all her life. And she goes into the morning very early, and that was what I was doing from, let's say, 8 to 10 or something like that, because before I can't, I have my, my children going to school and all that. But and the time slots of early in the morning or late at night are very interesting. You know what? Because our vigilance, I'm not sure that it's the right word, but we're very awake during the day. And then our mind is very much there. Like at noon, go get some inspiration at noon. For me, it's difficult because the mind is in the way. But when you're a little bit drowsy at night or still a little bit sleepy in the morning, that's when you can have this arousal of inspiration and have your mind being a little bit sleepy, and that's when you can get really creative. So it's really, it's you. You see what works for you and what works. Sometimes things work for you for a moment, and then it changes. I know that in winter, for example, I am really like a hibernation animal. I just I just I can't get up. It's just so much harder than in the summer where the sun is out at 5 a.m. In the winter, it's just like I just want to go back to bed again. I need to take naps. In the summer, not so much. So we have to take into consideration all those things.
Yes. Actually, there's recently I put on my calendar nap time because I felt that it is actually serving me. Like as you said, that when you serve yourself, when you take care of yourself, it helps you serve other people well. So it's actually part of the process.
Exactly.
Yeah, and actually you reminded me, do you know about the book Simple Abundance?
Excuse me, I did.
Do you know of the book Simple Abundance?
Simple abundance? No, don't know. From whom?
From Sarah Bandernack.
I don't
But
know.
yeah, she was actually sharing in the book that as a writer, when she started writing, she would do that hour. It was her time. So as in she thinks of ideas as like their own entity in existence. And she felt that if she were to write down, like set time, so let's say 5 to 9, as you said, I think it is the same writer. So 5 to 9, she would sit down and she would always write, meaning even if it's just, it is my writing time, because it was telling the ideas, like whatever needed to be written down, an invitation that you can always find me at my desk writing and ready to listen to you so I can type it down.
So interesting. Can you type in the chat
Yes.
the title and the author so that if anyone, and I'm going to take a good look at this because I don't know this book.
Absolutely. It's one of my favorite books. It's just one page a day kind of book. So it goes for
Oh,
365 days.
oh,
Yeah.
fantastic. And you see, just bouncing about what you sort of try to explain is that you see there's a habit. So
Mhm.
if I understood, this person just sit down every day, approximately every day at the same time. So she she teaches her body, her mind, okay, I can open now. And there's the flow. And this is also something that we can play around with. And I am sure if you think about this, because now that I'm talking about this specific thing, I can see in my schedule that there are moments that are recurring like this, where I'm doing sometimes the same thing or thinking, or like at the end of the day when I do my day review, then those those things pop into my head automatically. So it's really, I'm sure that you can spot things that you already do and that give space to feminine flow, in fact. But now that we talked about more feminine flow, you will be able to be even more attentive and intentional about this feminine flow. So if yeah, okay, simple
Yeah.
abundance, and if you have
Yes.
the
name of
author,
yeah.
that would be great.
I wrote it down. I don't know why it just disappeared. That was funny.
Okay, does anyone have a last question? Because then I don't want this to be too long. If I can help, let me copy this so I can, oops, put it here. Okay. Okay. So, does anyone have another question? No? Well, then we're done for today. Really, don't hesitate if other things pop into your mind and you keep them for the next call. So just be careful that our next call next week it's going to be Tuesday instead of the Thursday, because on Thursday I have appointments and I can't do this. So it's going to be Tuesday at 7 p.m. And I put these in the WhatsApp group. Are you all in the WhatsApp group? Yes, I think
Not
so.
yet. Not yet, but I will be there.
Yes, come in the WhatsApp. Yes, please.
I have one question. I have not yet started with the curriculum, but is there any specific order that you would suggest to follow?
Um, uh, Not really. If you go through the vortex, I would recommend you go one after the other because it like piles up.
Okay.
But then you have the Elegance program. It's probably better to do class 1, class 2 in the order,
Okay.
but then you have the workshops you can just go through as you wish and just follow your intuition.
Okay. Thank you so much for today. You answered everything so beautifully, and I love the personal examples because it helps me
Yeah,
understand it better.
great. And thank you so much for all your questions that were all of you, all of the questions we had today that were really on point. So thank you so much. I see you next Tuesday. Have a nice ride, Grace. Have a nice day for all of you. For me, it's going to be night now. And I see you on Tuesday, and I'll put the recording in the WhatsApp group if you want to look at it again. So bye-bye.